Hi everybody. So this video is about using an awareness of fluidity and visceral awareness with difficult clients. And I'm going to focus specifically on a consult that I did recently with a teenage boy with terrible eczema and very anxious parents. And he's wanting to heal in the context of psychotherapy. And so I was consulting with his therapist about that. So, so I would start by saying, I've been looking at some mind-body approaches that might help with the eczema. And I'm starting specifically with mind-body rather than body-mind because that's usually more accessible to people. So back to the client, I've been looking at some mind-body approaches, and I was thinking, we've got to shift your awareness from so much awareness of the itching and the eczema to more internal awareness. So let's take a deep breath together and just feel how that shifts so that you're feeling your insides with your breath. Feel everything that's happening in your chest and your lungs. Now I'm getting back out of character. So you could help your client count breaths. You could count the inhale and the exhale. You might hear that I did a sounded breath, a voiced breath on the exhale. In yoga, they'd call that an ujjayi breath. That can help you feel the exhale more. So working slowly over time to feel more internal awareness through intensive breathing. And feeling, help your client notice how that shifts their focus on what's wrong to more of an internal, centered, grounded sense of well-being eventually. And the other dimension I want to talk about is fluidity. So the way that I open up fluidity with a new person that isn't particularly body aware is to say, do you know the weird thing about our bodies, and I'll talk to this eczema client right now, the weird thing about our bodies is that we're 70% fluid. Isn't that incredible? Like 70% of this, if we squeezed it, 70% of our body weight would be fluidity and 70% of our mass. And that can really help with anxiety and with eczema and with grounding and with being overly mental. So whatever you're dealing with here. So let's just feel that everything in our bodies, our heart is pumping fluid. Every cell in our body is processing fluid. And you see how I'm feeling it in my own body, and I'm showing it with my hands. And even as I talk now, I'm moving through my spine. So I'm in training non-verbally, you, the listener, and potentially you could do this with a client, and train them into feeling more fluid. And then you could talk about gravity. Anytime we're vertical and upright, that our fluids do, even though they're pumping and processing and streaming through our bodies, there is a little bit of gravitational pull down. Good. I'm saying good to myself because I did that. And then with the brain, if you're really going to go for this, you might look up fluid circulation, blood circulation in the brain. And, there's incredible bodies of blood in between our two hemispheres. And then the cranial sacral fluid inside our head pools, and there's two pools in the in this plane. I'm having trouble with the camera. In this plane, and then two right in and around our brain stem going into our spinal cord. And then the cerebral spinal fluid goes down the spinal cord, gets pumped by movement and breath back up the spinal cord, goes out all the peripheral nerves, and bathes the whole nervous system. And that bathing of the nervous system can really help us get out of our heads, get out of anxiety, get out of worry, and let our heads ultimately yield down into our hearts, so that our brains realize they're not the all-knowing center of wisdom in the human body, but actually the heart is. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Thank you.